Okay, so Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is a game that came out back in 2010, and a lot of people go on record and say that's one of the best Mario games of the teens decade, along with the likes of Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario 8 Deluxe. And for whatever reason, this game never got an official remake. I know back in 2020 we got the Super Mario 3 All Stars bundle for the Switch console, and I believe it was a limited time edition type of deal. We got Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, which appeared in Super Mario 3 All Stars. And even though like all of those games are pretty cool in their own respective rights, a lot of people feel that one of those games could have been replaced with Super Mario Galaxy 2. Like Super Mario 64, even though it's a cool game, um, that game was well, at this point it's considered to be ancient because it came out back in 1996. And if Nintendo was going to do a remake for that game, they should have done it a lot sooner than they did. And Super Mario Sunshine, I believe, is a game that it was pretty cool in its own respective way, but at the same time, it was on the GameCube console. A lot of people really didn't get a chance to play it, and I don't think Super Mario Sunshine was nearly as popular as 64 when it came out, or Super Mario Galaxy when it first came out, or Super Mario Galaxy 2 when it first came out. Super Mario Galaxy, I feel like, is a game that deserved a 3D remake for quite some time, but we never got a remake. The game was just remastered instead. I'm talking about Super Mario Galaxy 2, the game from 2010 that had Mario as the main character, but it also had Yoshi as well. And like Super Mario Galaxy 2, like when it first came out, many people had nothing but good things to say about it, from critics to gaming publications, due to the fact that it was one of the more high profile 3D platformers that we got to see on a Nintendo console back in the teens decade. And even though it wasn't quite as popular as Super Mario Odyssey from 2017, it was more lighthearted, it was more challenging than Super Mario Galaxy 1, depending on who you ask. And it was definitely one of those games that probably should have been saved for the Wii U console because this game came out on the original Wii console along with the first Super Mario Galaxy game. And Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Wii U probably would have shined more, but at the same time, it probably would have sold less than it did because the Wii U console was considered to be a commercial failure due to the fact that there was way too much competition, like during like the mid teens for the most part. But on the Wii console, despite all the high profile titles that appear on the Wii console, I believe Super Mario Galaxy 2 reached over 7 million copies in terms of sales. Super Mario Galaxy 1 did over 12 million copies in terms of sales. And this is insane, but the best selling video game on the Wii console was Wii Sports, which did like over 82 million copies in terms of sales. Like the Wii was really like that popular in terms of like video game consoles during its era. And honestly, I feel like that was like the last time Nintendo was actually a real threat to, Microsoft or Sony in relation to the console wars. And even though like the Switch console has like recently surpassed the original Wii console in terms of overall sales, the Wii for whatever reason ended up being a much bigger deal than a lot of people thought it would be. The Switch console, a lot of people initially didn't think it would sell as much as it did, but at the same time, like for the most part, I do feel that the Switch console exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and obviously Nintendo's doing whatever they can to get like whatever type of game that people want to see remakes of on the Switch console. And at this point, a lot of people are wondering whether or not Nintendo's given up on possibly remaking Super Mario Galaxy 2, because we all know they got Super Mario Wonder coming out in October 2023. We got a new Princess Peach game coming out in March of 2024. It seems like Nintendo is just looking forward and they just want to move forward. But I wouldn't necessarily rule out the possibility of Nintendo remaking Super Mario Galaxy 2 because they haven't said that they're never going to do it or anything like that. But but if they were to do it, I mean, at this point, they probably should hold off until they release their next generation game console, which could come, I don't know, sometime within the next couple of years or so, because the Switch console was released back in 2017. So at this point, it's been at least like 6 years since the Switch console was released. And after about every 6 years or so, Nintendo tends to switch to their next generation game console. So at this point, like if Nintendo has any plans on releasing or remaking Super Mario Galaxy 2, they might as well put it on the Switch 2 console, opposed to just the original Switch console, even though more people have, Nintendo Switches right now than they would like the Switch 2 once it comes out. But at the same time, Super Mario Galaxy 2, I do feel like it's one of those games that definitely deserve like a 4K remake. And I'm hoping that that's what Nintendo's doing. They're basically saving this potential remake for a game system that can produce the same type of quality as the PlayStation 5 in terms of graphics and game engine and all that stuff, because I heard rumors about the Switch 2 console, and basically it's supposed to be as powerful as the PlayStation 5, and a lot of people are really skeptical about it, but I don't think I mean, I think at this point Nintendo knows that like the Switch console is considered to be inferior in comparison to the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, and they have to compete with their rivals in terms of quality, in terms of optics and all that stuff. And pretty much I do feel that Super Mario Galaxy 2 would be better off on Nintendo's next generation game system. But I'm not exactly sure if Nintendo has any interest on doing it at this point. Nintendo's not too big on like making full remakes of older games, even though I believe they just like did a remake for Metroid Prime from 2002. Remakes is something that Nintendo doesn't do too often. They always try to put out new games to capture people's appeal, and they tend to like, I guess, remaster older games to try and make more money off of that and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like Super Mario Galaxy 2, as good as it was, there are way more high profile Mario games or more iconic Mario games out there that can hold people's attention. And I feel like at this point, Nintendo is obviously trying to focus on other Nintendo characters and making them more popular, which is why Princess Peach is, getting her major game for the Switch console next year. And and I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Luigi's Mansion 4 within the next couple of years, because I believe Luigi Mansion 3 came out back in 2019. So they could be low key working on or at least coming up with the idea for Luigi's Mansion 4. And at this point, we still have games like, such as Mario Kart 9, along with Metroid Prime 4 that's supposed to be coming out sometime in the future. I mean, we know Metroid Prime 4 is supposed to be coming out, but Mario Kart 9, I believe it was confirmed to be in development back in 2022. So I think at this point, Nintendo has bigger fish to fry, opposed to working with. Or just like working on remaking Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is something that a lot of people have been wanting to see for quite some time. But at this point, I don't expect a potential remake for Super Mario Galaxy 2 to happen anytime in the future.